Okay, double quick time. I'm going to go through the silly little question at the end, the silly little 8 marker at the very end of literature paper 2, the part C, the unseen poetry comparison. And I'm going to show you a really quick little way of smashing it. Right, the first thing I need to really stress is this is not a significant question in your literature exam. Remember, you've just done an entire paper, which has already carried 60 marks, okay? You've also got 2 further questions in this paper, one of 30, one of 24, and this is a piddly, like in comparison, an absolutely piddly little 8 marks at the end, okay? I'm going to show you. I don't want you spending long on it. I want it to be a real bish bash bosh question, in out. Get you as many of the 8 marks as you can possibly get, but spend your time, invest your time in getting more of the 30 or the 24. I mean, just in simple terms, if I get only half marks in my 8 mark question, I'm going to get 4. If I get half marks by section A, I'm going to get 15. It doesn't make any sense to spend more time on it than literally 10-15 minutes at the end of the exam. And this is exactly the sort of question you'll get, okay? So after you've done one unseen poem in all of its glory and you've asked for that, it'll give you another one. And they've both got something in common. So these one, they both got the same attitudes growing old. And the question is, what are the similarities or differences between the ways the poems and its attitudes? Sometimes they change the word ways to methods. Same thing. This is a method question. The ways the writer has to communicate meaning are methods, okay? So that means we should be thinking of our focus effect links and how we use focus effect link in our analysis, and we should be thinking about the different focuses of image, pace, sound, and connotations. If they are completely new to you and you ain't got a clue what I'm talking about when I say that, you need to go and have a little watch of this little video here, which tells you exactly what that means, because if you can do that, there's absolutely nothing to fear in this question. If you do not follow your focus effect link and your image, pace, and sound connotations, you are going to be spending time and ink and energy on things that you're not going to get the marks you deserve in. The easiest way of explaining what to do in this question is by using the mark scheme, alright? So 8 marks available, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. If you want to hit your national average, you've got to hit the dizzy heights of around about 2.5, 3. That's what people are getting in this question. So you haven't got to do an awful lot to be above the pack, if you like. Things I want you to pay attention to here. First of all, this is essentially a question where he wants you to compare the 2 poems. It wants a particular focus on language and structure, and you're going to talk about the effects of them. So very simply, we are going to give the examiner those 3 precise little elements in as few words and as simple a structure as possible. As you'll see, the different level is about how it moves up from the quality, some, relevant, thoughtful, exploratory. There isn't the same developed or perceptive sort of word choices in the mark scheme here as you would see elsewhere. It doesn't want as much. It does not require the layers, the multiple interpretations, the great big discussion. It's not interested. It just wants a straight up, short and sweet, brief overview of the different methods being used. Now, this is again from the 2019 papers. This is exactly the sort of thing you might get. Another poem given to you. Again, this question, they give you a big clue in the question. It says, in both Nobody and The Richest Poor Man in the Valley, which we've just analysed, the poet describes ideas about how to live your life. Okay, so everything's going to come back to about how to live your life, but the examiner doesn't care about that in this one. This is all about the methods. What are the similarities or differences between the methods? All right, I would approach this exactly the same way as I would approach the question 4, so the coat hanger paragraph question in language paper 2, all right? Because that was similar to this in that we essentially are with a little think about reading the exam through a magnifying glass. You are looking for methods in common rather than or metaphorical meanings, etc. Blah blah blah. Okay, I would take a minute to establish what this poem is about. And again, I had to read this a couple of times. You'll probably have to read it a couple of times. And what is this about? This is about someone who's living their life with missed opportunities. This is talking about a snowy day Snowy days are very rare, they don't come across very often, and it's talking about the massive waste that it is to leave that snow untouched, to leave it untrodden, and then probably in the morning it's going to be a warmer day and that snow's all going to go and the opportunity is going to be gone. All right, but look how short and sweet it's been. It's about missed opportunities. Make it easy for yourself. As the mark scheme says, it wants you to talk about a language point, to make it easy, talk about technique, and it wants you to talk about a structural point, so make it easy, talk about the stanzas. Okay, let's have a look in terms of the technique then. If I look through, and again there's always going to be a few contenders, I'm going to go for that nice, easy, simple line. A whole day of snows, nobody's trodden. Okay, it's jumping out at me. It's the central kind of message to what's going on. So make it simple. I've got a metaphor here, and the fact that it is about the fact it's snow, nobody's been trodden. It's that temporary chance, that temporary opportunity missed. Folks, no layers, no multiple interpretations, no discussion, ain't got no time for it. Okay. Where's the methods? There it is. Where's my metaphor here? Well, I've already talked about that here. I've got my extended metaphor here. So I've got the 2 points ready to go. Next, in terms of the structure, in terms of stanzas, well, would you look at it after the other one's all chaotic and erratic? Equal lines, equal lines, equal lines. So here we've got a structure that is really controlled. We've got a structure that is really balanced, really ordered, etc., etc. So this now, in opposition to the other one, this is about someone that is living their life. They live their life with limits and boundaries. And this poem is all about how those limits and those boundaries, they cost us in terms of the worth of our life. And once again, I've got my comparison here ready to go with my chaotic and internal structure. There's absolutely nothing wrong with dipping into the analysis you've already done for this question. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to put that together into a nice answer. Okay, and how do we write up this fella? Well, we were going to write it up in exactly the same way as we did our old friend paper 2 question 4 in the language part of the course. These are coat hanger paragraphs, which means you're going to have a statement at the start, which is going to serve as like a coat hanger. You're going to hang all your ideas on it. It's the central point of both different parts of your analysis. You'll put a coat hanger that says the method in common. I strongly recommend you do in common. It is much easier and carries the same amount of marks. And then you're going to take each poem in turn, evidence it, method it, and then you're going to explain the effect. Notice how I've not got like layers of explanation here. This is bish bash bosh, in, out, get your 8 marks and off you go. So let's have a look at a model. First of all, we're going to have a statement at the start. So both writers use figurative language to present how we should live our lives. We are then going to have an addition of a piece of evidence. So in the richest poor man in the valley, the writer uses a simile to describe a face like a weather map. We're going to explain that. So using our focus effect link strategy, we're going to talk about the image. The image of weather is of something that is constantly changing but has little impact on our day-to-day happiness, which reflects how the actions and choices in our lives can change, and those actions are insignificant compared to the worth within ourselves. Lovely jubbly, we found a method in common, we've identified it in poem A, we've got a nice clear layer of analysis, not going on to the second layers or third layers or multiple interpretations because I haven't got time. I'm getting my 8 marks and I'm getting out of there. I do exactly the same thing for poem B, put another quote, look at the same method and do exactly the same level of analysis, 1 layer, clear focus on the image, happy days. I'm going to do 2 of those paragraphs, 1 on language and 1 on structure. Structure where I'm going to follow exactly the same structure. I'm going to identify the structure, the fact that both use structure. In source A, this is what the writer does, and this is the effect of it. In poem B, this is what the writer does, and this is the effect of it. Folks, do not spend long on this question. Get in, get it done, get out, bish, bash, bosh.